need to because he's 15 or something, you know. Hey, Charles and Kat's here too. We've got
Hello.
hey Charles, we got we're oh, you're quarantined. Or do you have COVID? I mean, how are you feeling, Charles? How's Kat doing? It's pretty
I'm
late.
fine, thanks, love. How are you doing?
Oh, great. I'm just doing great. I'm kind of a night owl too. Actually, I get up about 2:30 in the morning, you know, or 3, you know, and I just can't sleep or whatever. But
Yeah, I understand that one.
yeah, I know. And so, but you know, I have to go to work around 8, and so it gives me a lot of time to read and study, and I do try to every day do you know, active imagination, and today was just fabulous. It was just amazing, you know, because the one thing I've started to do is I realize everything I see is the soul, and I'm part of her too. And every time I go down there and say that, or you know, realize it, then suddenly she is unbelievably expressive and real, you know. And I mean, her whole the whole image that I see of her changes, you know, and because, you know, of that realization. And you know what she did today is, I've been doing this cranial sacral therapy, Roy, and you know, and she likes to, as soon as I spent about 30 minutes in quieting the ego, and then about 15 minutes just one-on-one. And every time she likes to confront me really close, and that means she wants to merge with me. And then so she merges with me, and I feel it in my back, and then it goes to the middle back, and then it goes down to the where the sacral area is, you know. I mean, so she just follows the spine. But it's, anyway, it's pretty interesting. Now Roy has a dream, and Charles, I'm sure we owe you a dream too. I know Kat, Charles is doing a lot of good stuff as far as he's made unbelievable progress. How are you doing, Charles? Are you still at it, or do you go back to St. Louis?
Sorry, I was talking to my coworker. What's going on?
Oh, I just wondered how's it's going on your work life.
Oh, it's okay. Just I don't know. There's just been a lot of work. The days have been really long, but I have a couple days off right now. So,
Are you living in a in a are you in New Orleans or Jackson? In New Orleans.
I'm in New Orleans.
And you're in the Airbnb that she's renting.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, anyway, if you have a dream, why don't we start out with Roy's dream, since I've got it handy. And Roy, this dream just has so many surprises in it. I mean, it's just well, of course, all Roy's dreams have a lot of surprises in them, but I start to go over it, amplify it, and then I always find that I'm completely wrong, because there aren't too many people that can understand Roy's dreams. They're very, very, you know, they're so elemental, you know. Oh, I was going to tell you one thing. One thing that I found about Kat's dream, where she's walking on the
Stromolites.
Stromolites as paving stones, you know. I mean, what really came up today in this active imagination is that every image that we amplify becomes a paving stone. You know, it's sort of like the philosopher's stone. And it just, I really thought of that I just want to go over that quickly is the, you know, you're at the center of where the red brick walls are, and then suddenly the ground is covered with the first evidence of creation on Earth. But it's not the first evidence of creation on Earth. It's the first evidence of creation in Cap. And to me, what the soul told me today about the philosopher's stone, there's many philosopher's stones. There's no end to them, and each one is a stone along the path, and you keep creating them all the time. And hey, Tim, how's it going?
Good.
Great. Well, we're going to do a Roy dream, and then maybe if Charles has got a dream too, we can do a Charles dream. And then if I'm going to try to, I'll put this in one more time for Roy. Yeah, Kat, that was, I mean, I've had those two things about your dream. Was the other one was there was this brown sheet. Well, this was part of this active imagination. This brown sheet that whenever you lie on it, it starts to gain writing on it because it's the barrier. Individuation is what they call a borderline process. I mean, it's where the ego goes towards the border, and the center goes towards the border, and then they sort of meet in the middle in what's called the philosopher's stone, you know, or the divine child, or whatever you want to call it. And that was this brown sheet, and when you lie on it, because things are coming up and things are going down, it is has this aspect of that it is this sort of a middle thing. But then I thought, well, I said, well, this probably, the images go back all the way to the Stromato lights. And they said, well, that's not really an image. And I wasn't buying it. You know, I think it does, but it's so ancient, so primordial. And that's why it's so interesting to be shown in your dream. Well, anyway, why don't, Roy, this is a dream of 4 parts. So let's go ahead. It has as one part is a bookend. It's at the beginning and the middle and the end. And then there's 2 little intermediate parts in it. But go ahead, Roy.
Okay, this is October the 4th, title Trip to the Psychologist. I am in a room discussing innovative ideas, trying to get them more accepted in society. I was discussing publicly traded company Mind Medicine, which has psychedelics to treat depression and addictions. I left with another man I was taking to see a psychologist. The man was nervous and took a sedative. In the psychologist clinic, there were several psychologists milling around and discussing things. Then the head psychologist popped out of the conference room. He was a big, tall man and looked like the actor Brian Dennehy. He said, "Roy, you are here about your appointment." I was stunned. I said, "Well, I would like an appointment, but I brought you this man." The scene changed. I am at an African-American house. I am backing my car up to unload a washing machine. We hooked up the washing machine and did a load of clothes. The drain pipe just spilled out in the yard and went into the ground. The woman of the house gave me a sack of some type of berries and grain and told me they were good for my health and eat them when I get home. The scene changed and I'm at Craig's house. He had an aquarium in a room and it caught on fire and totally burned up. He had a video that recorded it and showed it to me. It was strange how it combusted into flames. The steel frame was red hot. Then the scene changes and I'm back at the psychologist's office. I was training to be a psychologist. I hesitated, but then decided to go for it. The psychologist went to work on me. First, he said we had to take off all our clothes. Then he put this machine over the top part of his body that twisted him into a spiral. I said, that was a difficult thing for your body. He says it takes a lot of practice. I am not sure what comes next. I woke up then.
Okay, I didn't get that part about the spiral, but it's fabulous. Okay,
Wow.
now, would you say, Tim?
Oh, it's just amazing.
It is amazing. Now, I'm just saying that a lot of these things, when I hear them, I feel a great compression. You know, I mean, like this is, this is sort of, it is actually kind of throws me out of my ordinary consciousness. I mean, I just have this feeling of it. I mean, it's so surprising. Okay, so first we're in a room discussing innovative ideas, trying to get them more accepted in society. So, this, there's these things that kind of lead up to we're going to try to help something or someone. And then when we get there, we find it's actually us that needs the help, okay? So anyway, we're in a room discussing innovative ideas, and we're trying to get them accepted in society. So some new creative attitudes or concepts are discovered, and they would be, if they were incorporated in the collective, it seems like it would be healthy. So now, and then we're discussing a publicly traded company called Mind Medicine. Is that your actual company?
That is an actual publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay, and it has psychedelics to treat depression and addictions.
That's what they do. Yep.
Okay.
And you can get a master's or a PhD in that in Harvard, where you are qualified to be in these therapeutic places where the doctor prescribes psilocybin or whatever, and they guide you through the process.
Is that the mushrooms?
Yeah, that would be mushrooms.
Yeah, Stuart Green was involved in something like that. I mean, for a long time, and I think that's how he got to be such a psychic, or able to
Yeah, well, they it's a status quo thing in society, but so many educated people now are taking these substances and know that they have therapeutic value, that they finally, got some of the universities to be able to get this controlled substance that's illegal and use it in medical, highly academic, medically scientific studies that unquestionably the data comes in that it's helped these people with depression and addictions.
Yeah, well, one thing is bringing up images from the depths.
Well, it brings up images from the depths, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, and they are any images from the depths are the images from the body, and they're of a wisdom of a greater factor than are available to ego. So now in some cases they can be very chaotic and say, you can drive you crazy, but on the other hand, they can have healing aspects. Because
Yeah,
they're
that's
so
why they're done
powerful.
under very therapeutic conditions. You have to qualify to get this substance while
Yeah.
you're taking it. And if you have mental problems or whatever, where this wouldn't be advised, you're healthy and sane enough for this substance, and it's under a controlled environment where everything's like a Temenos, very safe and relaxed environment.
You know, if you were to do this in a natural setting, this is what they call, this is where the word imagination comes from. It comes from the word to magnify, and it means to expand consciousness. So if you take a psychedelic and it sort of lifts the barrier between archetypal world and the ego, so that more comes through. Usually the only way that it can come through is for the ego to quiet itself enough that its harsh light has been dimmed enough that the light of the inner sun can now be experienced by awareness. That black sun. Jung had that black sun that was being chased by all the snakes, in the Red Book, But anyway, so that this is going to treat psychic illnesses, either depressions or addictions. Okay, so we're discussing innovative concepts and ideas, and then we are engaging in these cutting edge therapies, and then we leave with another man to see a psychologist. I mean, you discussed innovative ideas, you've discussed innovative therapies. Now you're going to take a man to a psychologist to get some help. The man was very nervous and takes a sedative, and to calm himself down. So, in the psychological clinic now, really, let's Jung used to say that if psychologists, and he was talking more about people who were working with the personalistic aspects of psychology. He says if they had their choice, they'd all wear white lab coats because it's the difference between a technician and a shaman. If you're a psychologist, you're either a technician or you're a shaman, one of the two. And if you're both, then you're really special, but so this can either be the shamanic world, or it can be the world of B.F. Skinner. It could either be the world of Black Elk in the Lakota Sioux, or you could be with B.F. Skinner studying behavioral things, so then the head psychologist pops out of a conference room. He's sort of almost a chieftain. If you've ever seen Brian Dennehy, I mean, he's very big, always kind of played the sort of a mild-mannered character actor or something. He was in South Park, actually.
He's not academic. He has an academic professional role in the script, but he relates to the regular person.
Yeah, he's a natural person. So he's this kind of he's sort of almost the chieftain. He's the big tall man. So the big tall man of the psychologist comes out, and he seems to represent some type of a chieftain. And then he sees Roy and the man standing there, and he says, he pays no attention to the person that took the sedative that Roy brought to get treatment. And he says, Roy, are you here about your appointment? I mean, that hit me like a ton of bricks. We're the patient. Now, where did that come up? The only person that knew that was the chief of all shamanic healers, knew that we were the patient, not this guy. Now, Roy is properly stunned, and he says, well, I would like an appointment, but I brought you this man, you know, and so what do you think about that, Roy? Was there anything after that scene, that statement?
No, that's that total scene.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
and then the scene changes.
Okay, now the scene changes. Now remember, when these scenes change, these unrelated scenes, right back to back, they're not unrelated. Okay, it's always from this, that. Okay, now the scene changes, and you're at an African American house. So you're at a house of someone who possibly is, you know, I don't know, you know, it would just be someone who is probably more related to the earthiness of life than you are. You know, I mean, someone who's not a, say, an Oxford Don or somebody, you know, some of these people nowadays just become so conceptual, you know, but this is a place where it's more important to be a real human being than it is to be this conceptual person. So now you can contrast that with what you started doing at the beginning, discussing innovative ideas and things. Now you've come to a house of real, genuine humanity, you know. Now, you're backing your car up to unload a washing machine. You hook up the washing machine and did a load of clothes. So you come to this place of a more genuine humanity. You know, not people discussing innovative ideas that need to be incorporated in society. You're just at a normal, genuine person's house. And you take a machine up there, and now you're washing clothes. So in other words, the persona is being freshened up or something. I don't know. You know, the clothes represent something to do with the persona, and they're being freshened up. I'm not really sure if that's how symbolic that is. But then now the drain pipe just spills out into the yard and goes into the ground. That's pretty funny. You know, normally it's so you know, you've got all this plumbing, and instead of it going down the drain, it just spills out into the yard. You know, here's the water goes in, the wastewater just goes out onto the yard. So it's a little funny when you think about it. You know, like having a dishwasher that just throws it's just sort of a different look at a washing machine or a dishwasher that you don't normally see, because you don't normally see the outflow, the outtake that goes somewhere else. Now it's sort of obvious or something. So now the woman of the house gives me a sack of berries and grains and tells me that they were good for my health and to eat them when I get back home. Okay, so we go to this house, we do this load of clothes, and then the woman of the house, as a gift to us, gives us natural foods, berries and grains. Okay, so it's almost like granola or something. She's just giving us raw grains, raw fruit. And she says, this is good. So she's giving us a gift of natural foods, just the way they come out of nature, not unprocessed or something, you know. So she seems to be the goddess of unprocessed, now see, compare that with all these highly sophisticated ideas. Now, she doesn't give us highly sophisticated ideas. She gives us the bounty of the earth. And that's why I say that she represents someone closer to the earth than all these other people. So it goes from this highly conceptual world with one guy who sees through everything, Brian Dennehy. You know, he's the one guy that kind of sees through everything. Now you're in this. This is another no artifice place, and something is being now. Typically, water. When you have water, it means to purify. So you're purifying your persona, and then you're given this the bounty of the earth. And okay, now the scene changes again. Now this is a very interesting dream, because this happens in my dreams. I mean, this almost this very thing. Then the scene changed, and you're at Craig's house. Now listen to this, very interesting. There is an aquarium. Okay, so I dream about aquariums a lot. Okay, you know, and one of the things with aquarium dreams is someone is going to read the Red Book, and then a voice says, "No, you can't read it. First, it has to be immersed in this water, and so it's put into an aquarium, and after it's in there for a while, it's taken out, and now we can read the Red Book." First, it has to be immersed in the depths, and then it can be brought out. Now, I've also had these dreams where the kitchen, okay, there's a house on fire across the street. Everyone's telling me, pointing to me. I'm standing in the picture window. You know, call the 911. And I'm trying to. I can't dial the number. I mean, Charles had this same dream. And meanwhile, I turn around in my kitchen, the kitchen's on fire, but only the clock. The clock's on fire. So now here, the aquarium's on fire. Come on now. This container of now remember, Aquarius, the water bearer, you know, carries this pitcher of water around him. It's full of the unconscious. Now he carries around. It's a different. It's an improvement on Pisces, where the unconscious. There's figures in the depths. You pull them out. You know, these fish. You know, now we carry the unconscious with us, and we water the fish. You know, now in this case, the aquarium is on fire. Okay. Now, it's normally not considered combustible material, water, but we look at it, and it is you see a video of it. So now you're there at my house. I'm apparently telling you about this and then show you a video. And it was strange how the aquarium combusted into flames, and its steel frame became red hot. Now, is that what happened? Is the actual aquarium with the water in it caught on fire?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is a very strange image. It's sort of, you know, like you got earth, air, fire, and water, you know, and you know, those are the four elements, you know, and here this water and fire are normally not, but they're uniting. The water and the fire become one, and then this metals that surround it become one. So now each one of these things is very surprising. See, we go in, the water and the fire become mixed up and united. The metals frame surrounds it, and glows red hot. What does that mean? It's just it really is just this incredible image of the mixture. Now, typically, this is what fire means. Fire means the attention of the ego given to something. That's the fire. You know, in other words, what warms the alchemical vessel is the heat of our awareness, cooks what's ever in the vessel. So often the transformational fire means the ego lends its attention to the depths, okay? And because the ego is lending attention to the depths, there's a transformational fire that starts. So this means that there is here in this house, because of ego attention being lent to the depths, a transformational fire occurs. You know, I mean, that's just sort of a stab at it, you know. And then, okay, the scene changes again. Okay, the fourth scene, but now this time we're back at the psychologist's office. Now, first we were considered a patient of this chief of the shamanic healers. Okay, and now we're in the shamanic healer's office. You can call him whatever you want. Now, let me tell you something. What does the psychologist mean, literally? It means a doctor of the soul. Okay. Now, you know, when Jung called his, what he was doing psychology, that's exactly what he meant, the study of the soul, you know. So here, these guys are doctors of the soul. We go back to the doctor of the soul, and we find that now, instead of a patient, we are in training to become a doctor of the soul. We hesitate for a minute, and then we decide to go for it. Okay, so now this doctor of the soul is going to start to work on us. And first, he says we have to take off all our clothes. Okay, I do this every day. Okay. The only time I can go down to the rock where the house of wisdom is built, the house on which the rock of wisdom, or the house of wisdom is built, is to leave everything I have of the upper world behind me. I have to go there as a natural being. And I'm going to leave behind all my persona trappings. So before I can become a doctor of the soul, I have to become one with nature. And that means that I'm giving up the persona aspects. The persona is the bridge to the outer world. The anima and the animus are the bridge to the inner world. So if we're going to go into the inner world, we don't need the persona anymore. So we have to take off all our clothes. That's a symbol. It's just it's just an interesting image, and I think it's fairly obvious, but I'm not sure. But anyway, then he put this machine on himself, on his upper body. Okay, remember, if Azine was here, she's an expert on the centaur, where Charles is an expert on the minotaur. Charles' father was a minotaur. You know, I mean, his upper body was the bull. And for the centaur, their upper body is the human body and their lower body is the animal aspect. Sort of like a mermaid. You know, a mermaid, the upper body is human, the lower body is a fish, you know. But anyway, in this case, the upper body is emphasized. He puts a machine on his body that twists him into a spiral. Okay. Now remember, here's what Jung says about any kind of growth in the psyche. There's no such thing as linear growth, but only a circumambulation around the center. Now, the spiral growth means that you orbit around the center, but you get closer and closer all the time, you know. Now, that's a spiral, you know, and that's spiral growth, you know, and that wonderful saying of, I think, is it Yeats or TSL? You return to the place where you started and see it for the first time. Now, this is, I think it's from Little Gidding or something, but the idea is that in this happens in alchemy too, that you always just make the hero cycle or something. You just go around the center, and then you come back to the place you start. We're going to go around again, but this time more subtly, with more subtle, that we learn something on the last orbit. And this time we're going to go on the same orbit, but it's not the same orbit because of what we learned on the first time around. But anyway, so we have this the fact that we're doing all this conceptual work. We're going to help somebody out and deal with the psychedelics and everything. And then we found, hey, you're the patient, Roy. We don't need all those innovative ideas and everything. Okay, secondly, the second scene is that we go into this more, someone who's much more close to the earth. There's no talk about conceptual ideas here. And then there is this idea of a cleansing of these clothes that we wore in that first kind of a conceptual thing. See, I think that meeting with Dennehy was a initiation, that we crossed some kind of threshold. So then the next thing is we have to go into the more natural realm and have a cleansing of our clothes. The third thing is just magical, absolutely magical. The unconscious catches on fire. Okay. And this is absolutely archetypal image, you know. And it really means, I think it's the union of ego attention with the depths, and it creates a tremendous conflagration of transformation. Okay, because of the great commitment of the ego to the depths creates all this heat that makes the depths themselves combust into fire. Okay, then the fourth image is now we ourselves are going to become a doctor of the soul. And first we have to, go down to the animal state, to the state of body wisdom, to the state of Mother Nature. You know, the state of no concepts. There's no concepts here. The only thing that we're going to do here is our body itself needs to become become a spiral growth. Now, do you see all the images from cave paintings and stuff are these spirals? And remember at New Grange, there's spirals that go both ways. You know, I mean, there's this idea of the spiral is sort of the initiation into the depths, you know, and you don't go straight to the depths, you circumambulate it and become closer and closer and closer. Now, this is the labyrinth of Chartres Cathedral, you know, or is it Notre Dame? I can't remember which. I think they all have one. But anyway, let's hear what everybody has to say. Do you want to start, Kat? Do you have any impressions of this wonderful dream?
I've got loads, and thank you for sharing, Roy, because it's just like so wonderful that it's taking my mind. But I go to the African American house and the clothes and the washing of them. But when you mentioned about the water, the drain pipe spilling out into the yard, I feel like that water that has been washed to purify the clothes is kind of like being recycled back into the earth. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you're sort of giving back, or you're shedding off or giving back. So it's all sort of recycled and made new or whatever. But then the lady gives you some grains and berries, but I think of grains like seeds. And I can't help but think that you have to ingest these seeds for them to then sort of grow in you, and then you walk with it. Because the seeds contain the original blueprint of what it is to become. So, like the acorn grows into the mighty oak tree, and then I was thinking of like the aquarium catching fire. I mean, like there's a mention, Craigie mentioned about earth, air, fire, and water, but then I was thinking of Chinese medicine, which also includes metal, which would sort of equate for the steel, because that as well. And then I was thinking about the spiral, and it was the top of the body. I couldn't help but thinking it starts from the heart and then spirals out and expands the mind more. And again, a kind of like the starting point for that spiral feels like would be the little seed. And that's all I've got for the moment, but I'm just going to keep going back to it because that was brilliant. So thank you, Roy.
That is great, Kat. The fact that the seeds represent new growth. This has been a recurring theme in Roy's dreams. These shoots of wheat that he sees on high hills and things like that. I mean, it is. See, now we're really sort of differentiating these 4 stages, which appear to be almost a mandala. There is a mandala here with 4 parts. So, and each part is almost of itself, and each one has a different aspect of creation. First, we're the patient. Second, the one who provides us natural growth, the seeds of growing, of the truth that sprouts from the earth of itself, the berries and the fruits. And then this, the fact that our what we're being purified goes back into the earth. What is washed off us, goes back into the earth, to be cleansed. Maybe these 2 conceptual attitudes we have need to be washed off our clothes and go back into the earth before that's where they'll be redeemed as well. And then this wonderful image of, and I think you're right on the metals aspect. It has something to do with alchemy and the water and fire. And then the third aspect of the spiral, we are going to be made doctors of the soul by first getting rid of all our collective attitudes, our clothes. And secondly, by becoming one with the spiral, and then, so that's the 4 parts. Charles, what do you think? This is just a wonderful image. Are you there, Charles?
Yeah. I don't know. I love the dream. I don't have a whole lot of input on it, but I see the end as being really cool. When the doctor says that they must shape their body like a spiral and get rid of their clothes. To me, it's like to embody the life force itself and to take its form and to completely kind of surrender and let the um, the the energetic will and just the kind of the force of creation to just assume its way to be in the same way as creation itself. And I'm still thinking about the flaming fish tank quite a bit. I don't know. It's all the images are great. I just having trouble with I don't know. It's like my mind just doesn't want to process it right now. It might be because I'm kind of focused on my dream right now because I found one that I didn't even remember that I had, and I've just been thinking about it. But it's yeah, I don't know. Roy must truly be a quite a soul doctor because of this dream. So yeah, it's a great dream.
Great comment too, that his body needs to be reformed as the spiral you know, by this sort of doctor of the souls aspect. Just wanted to show you real quick here, and then we'll keep moving so we can do a Charles and Roy's dream. But you know, here's this is New Grange, you know, and these spirals. I mean, this is beautiful. This is God. You know, this is the center. This is the self. You know, and we must reform our bodies like these images. What do you think, Tim?
And I'm very envious of this dream. It's just so, it's got such rich character to it. Roy, I just think you're in an amazing place. For me, I'm seeing this constant churning of alternative realities that keep changing ever so interestingly from one thing to another. And one of the themes that speaks to me that may not necessarily connect with your particular association, but one thing that resonates with me is the interface between the machine and the human, mechanical way of thinking and an organic way of thinking, the patterned response and the creative response, that kind of thing. And like Kat, I found the bath or the laundry water significant. I thought of the, you know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing, because the wastewater becomes the nourishing element of gray water, which is good for the garden. And then it turns into the berries and grain, which is directly nourishing to not only the garden, but to the human. And so it's like that energy is being transformed. And I also think about the earth as being the purifying element. So the dirty water goes into the earth, and as it sinks through the dirt, you know, it gets purified. And I just think that's so amazing that what we think of as dirt is the purifying element. And then the burning aquarium is just really an astonishing image. This intense energy of the unconscious that is so powerful. And it's interesting to me that it doesn't come directly, but it comes through Craig. So it's his interpretation of the aquarium that it is burning. It's not in direct experience. So then it seems like we're in training to understand the process, you know, taking all these tools and these various elements and bringing them into some kind of a constellation where they can generate wisdom. But first, in order to do that, we have to lose the persona. And here again, the machine twists the person, and especially the upper part. And that could be a spiral. It could be kind of a twisting of logic or something like that, or a twisting of normal experience that is like the drug trip that takes normal experience and transforms it into something else. So overall, it just makes me think, wow, this is just such a creative way of looking at the plebeian world that gets transformed into something that is mind-boggling and expansive and creative.
It really is a mandala. I mean, you got to think that these 4 parts, which, you know, the scene changes, the scene changes, the scene changes 4 times. It kind of reminded me of this is from Faust, you know, only gradually did I discover what the mandala really is: formation, transformation, eternal minds, eternal recreation. And it just seems like that's what's happening here in each step. You know, first of all, it's us that needs the doctor, not our friend. Okay. Then it's then we go into the doctor of the ones of sort of the one the doctor who is the doctor of plants and herbs. Take these home and eat them. Now, don't eat them here. Take these home and eat them. You know, and it will be very good for you. Health and wholeness mean the same thing. And then the third thing is there's 2 magical images in a row is of the fire, a water that's on fire. It's kind of like the burning tree, you know. Who was it? Abraham saw the burning tree, or something, and it spoke to him or something.
Moses.
And, as Moses
Moses in the burning bush.
Yeah, and the burning bush tells him a message. So here is the burning water, you know. So it's this burning, the burning psyche. So we met the chief of soul doctors. We met the earthy woman soul doctor related to the rooted world. Then we go into a sort of almost, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's nothing to do with the collective realm at all. It's just this psyche that's on fire. Okay, psyche on fire. And then the third one is now where we become the doctor of the soul. First, we were hesitant, but then we said, go for it. You know, Roy, what do you think now? Let's get your thoughts.
Okay, well, thanks for all the feedback. It was, I agree with most of it. It was very good, very helpful. I have a few twists, my own take. The first scene, I feel like the psychologist liked my innovative ideas. He wanted to see me. He didn't want to see the weak man, the nervous man. He didn't want to see him. He wanted to see me, the man with the innovative ideas. I got his attention. The second scene is getting rid of those inferior things. And they go into the earth and they fertilize the earth. And I'm with the anima, the very grounded anima, Thonic. And she gives me nourishment to be strong and have courage. And Then I go to Craig's house. Now, I had a dream with Craig where I wanted to ask him some questions, but he kept avoiding me. And I found him way up high in a high-rise building, up several stories out on the patio. And I popped in, and he had a big aquarium. And I took a fish out of it. And I meant to put it back in the aquarium, but it got away and it went off the balcony down into a stream. It went into the stream and was free out in the free world. And I think I have something that I'm a little perturbed about. This aquarium with the water and the fish, I just annihilated it. It just burned it down. The frame was red. I just got rid of it. I don't know why, and I don't know exactly what it is, but Craig videoed it. There it was. It's gone. Okay, the last scene, I'm back at the psychologist's office, and of course, you got to take your clothes off. You got to be frank and honest. And the spiral thing, I like what Tim said. The machine is like the logo, so really rationality, man's rationality. Man thinks in linear terms. He thinks a straight line exists, but in nature, there's no straight lines. If you have a point, well, you have a point like a planet Earth or the sun, because everything's in motion, it doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in a spiral. The galaxy moves in a spiral. And everything in the galaxy, it spirals. And that's the body spirals. The natural body, when it walks and stuff, it has a spiral twist in motion to it. If you ever go on YouTube and watch some of these bird flights, birds flying, where they slow it down really slow, and you'll see like a twist in the wings. The wings kind of twist, they kind of spiral a little bit. I mean, it's just amazing. That we naturally have that, but we've lost touch with it. So that's just a few things that I added.
Jung said the only real straight line you find in nature is a meteor hitting the earth.
But that's not even straight.
No, well, it looks straight when you see
It looks
coming.
straight, but
Yeah.
in reality, it's not.
It's a little curved. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's a very, very beautiful dream. Why don't we spend, Charles, are you ready for your dream? And maybe we could spend about, Tim, do you have a dream too?
Well, I can get one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we spend, now Charles, we haven't done a dream for him, and maybe you could get a dream and introduce it during the last 10 minutes or so, if we could get through Charles' dream. But good, Charles,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I have mine handy.
Okay, great,
Okay,
go ahead.
1 second here. I'm just gonna...
Charles needs his dreams digested. He has so many of them.
Recently work's been really hard, and having to wake up so early and being so tired in the morning, it's been difficult to remember my dreams enough to where I can actually record something coherent. Really recently it's been I just remember images here and there, and I don't really have a whole picture of the dream. But I'm gonna try to adapt and still record them. So this dream, I didn't even remember that I had it until a little bit ago when I pulled it up. And so there are a bunch of people over at some sort of overnight party where my niece and maybe even my nephew is attending. But most importantly, Molly is there. And I suppose that I am too nervous to look at her. I can't look her in the face. But the next morning, there's a few people still left there at the party, and I'm assuming Molly is still there and is going to come downstairs when she wakes up. My niece comes downstairs, and a couple more people come downstairs. And then I'm assuming Molly must had left last night. And I was very disappointed because I did not see her come downstairs with everyone else. My niece said that Molly had some female friend that she was hanging out with last night that she had brought. I'm upset and I decide to leave. And then my mom and my niece and nephew are getting into their car so they can go somewhere. And I have a coat on and a baseball cap. I don't know why I thought that was an important detail, but I'm now going to my car, and it's some black SUV that I had bought. I parked it in a lot with all other black cars. It's raining, and I'm having a difficult time getting to where I thought I parked it because it's very hard to walk on this slippery, wet pavement because it's at an angle. And yeah, I'm just kind of sliding down it. I can't find my car. So I go to the guy that's working there at the car lot. And since I can't show my car to him, I tried to show him a video of my car on my phone. But in the video, it just looks like a sort of geometric pattern of white fluctuating light and some sort of what looks like video game footage. I can't really remember it. I remember the geometric pattern, but it looked like a prism, like light shining through a prism and flashing and changing. So I really have no way of showing what my car looks like. And I ask him where it might be, and he doesn't know, and he can't really help. And I just assume it had been stolen because maybe the car is cracked and it makes it easier to hack, like a phone or something. And that's the dream.
Say, Charles, is this niece the same one that was in the car inside the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where it was raining inside the
Right.
house. Yeah, raining inside the car. I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's start out. Let's see. Now, can you just you said a bunch of? Can you just describe that initial scene again? I think I missed.
Yeah,
that.
there were a bunch of people over for an overnight party.
Overnight party. Your niece and nephew was there, but most importantly, Molly.
Yeah.
And now Molly is the grand anima. She is the one that just stuns us into complete. She is so overwhelming to ego that it absolutely loses all of its control. I mean, I just can feel this surge of emotion in us, and part of it is great disappointment because we don't think that we're going to be able to relate to her, and the other aspect is I'm trying to describe my own reactions to this type of woman. You know, they're just a big choke in your throat because she is the one who seemingly is the symbol of life itself for us, from which we are separated. Okay, she's the life force. She really is. She's symbolic of the life force in every way. Now we are projecting it on Molly, but really our projections inside of us. You know, there is the feeling. Molly is just the mirror for these projections and emotions. This feeling of unbelievable powerful, overpowering, that just absolutely, stuns us into awe or something. We just can't move. But on the other hand, we are very nervous. We are very tense. We are very full of expectation, but also are afraid that we're going to be neglected and forgotten by the life force. Okay, so the life force is there, and it doesn't care about us. It doesn't want to pay any attention to us. Now, don't think of it as Molly. Think about it as that the life force itself is neglecting us, being aloof towards us, doesn't want to have anything to do with us, and yet it is our life force, and yet she's off here, and we're not able to unite with her energy. Okay, but in this case, and beautifully and also maddeningly, it's represented in this being, this feminine being who I used to be an expert in worshiping from afar. I was one of the best worshiping from afar people there ever was. Okay, but it's a bunch of people, this overnight party, the niece and nephew were there. But Molly, now we haven't heard about Molly for a while, have we, Charles? It's been a while since we've heard about Molly, the love of our life, really. Now we're too nervous to look at her. Okay. What was Molly doing there? I didn't catch that. It was when the dog started barking.
I don't know. She was just there attending the party.
Yeah, but we were too nervous to look at her, really.
Yeah, I was like sitting by her. I couldn't see
You
her.
were sitting by
Well, I mean,
her,
I could see her, but I couldn't look.
but she's not making any attempt to relate to us. And yet we are full of relatedness on our inside. And we can't, but we can't express it. Okay. All right. And then she's near a couple of people. And then what was the next part of that?
Let's
N-
see.
The niece said that Molly,
Oh.
everybody goes to bed. And then they're getting up in the morning. Everybody gets up but Molly. We think that she may have left. And then your niece said that Molly was hanging out with a female friend. At the house, or did she leave?
Yeah, that she had brought a friend with her, and yeah, I guess they left in the middle of the night because I
Okay,
didn't
so-
see them come downstairs.
So you totally missed her. Okay. Now this is sort of this, just absolutely, it's a heartbreaking event, really. I mean, it's just this lament. Now the mom, so then that pretty much ends the Molly episode. Okay. So that's kind of a sort of a anticlimactic scene, but at least we get to see Molly, this great anima life force that's within us, that is represented by Molly, and of course also represents love, also represents love itself. It represents our connection, our relatedness to the outer world, and to life itself. Okay, so that ended not well. Okay, now the mother, and she goes with the female friend. So again, that she didn't. It's better than going with the male friend. But on the other hand, she did not show any willingness to relate to us. So then the mother and the niece and the nephew get in their car to go home. Okay, and then you are going to go look. What was this? Coot, or what was that after that?
Um,
Before the black and SUV event.
No, it just says, I'm upset, so I decided to leave. My
Yeah.
mom and niece and nephew are getting to a car so they can go somewhere. I have a coat and a baseball cap
Oh,
on,
coat
and
and
I'm going
baseball
to my
cap.
car
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, coat, you got a coat and baseball cap, and now you're looking for your black SUV. It's parked with all the other black cars, but it's now everything is covered with water, with rain. This was what Young, after he killed, what happened after he and this guy killed Siegfried. It rained like crazy to wash everything away. I mean, this idea of rain after some climactic event has some type of a meaning, and it's very slippery. We're sliding around. Now we can't find the car. We go to where the car could probably be. We have no. We're trying to explain to the guy where it is. He just looks at us dumbly, and we try to show him. We don't have a picture of the car, so we tried to show him on a phone, and all you see is a white prism light and some geometrical figures. So that doesn't help, and then it ends up that he can't help. He doesn't know where it is, and so you have no vehicle, no vehicle of soul. You're just left out there on the wet pavement. Is that how it ended, Charles?
Yeah. Well, I conclude that it must have been stolen, and that
Must have been stolen or cracked
that it was
into. It was easy to be hacked.
Yeah, that I don't know why I thought of it as being like a
phone.
jailbroken phone that was easy to hack. I don't know what.
It's
That's just how
somehow
I thought of
similar.
it for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. So
Someone
so
had
let's
gained control of it.
let's quickly review it. We're in a place where everyone's going to stay overnight. Hey, this is funny. We're going to a house. A bunch of people there are going to stay overnight, including ourselves. Okay, so we stay overnight. Now Molly's there. She doesn't pay any attention to us. We're gonna have to talk about it, what it means to be Molly. Is it the real Molly, or is it the symbolic anima goddess? And she doesn't pay any attention to us. We're just sitting there, just absolutely miserable. And then we go to bed, and we can't wait till she gets up in the morning. Everybody gets up but her, and then our niece tells her she left during the night. Great disappointment. Okay, so then that ends. And then the second part is everybody goes home. The mom, niece, and nephew go home. And then we have no way of getting anywhere. We're stranded on this rain swept landscape. What do you think, Roy?
Yeah, let's see. My interpretation is he's distracted by Molly's beauty, which a lot of men are, especially young men, are intimidated and distracted by a very beautiful girl. Even Jung was. He complains about it. So he can't look her in the eyes. So he doesn't meet up with her again, and he goes to his car. It's sort of grim, and he can't find his car. Well, my interpretation is the car's his body. He can't find his body, and I forget who this guy is, but all he has is a picture on his phone. He sees a dazzling light, geometrical prism or whatever. Well, that's his personal spirit. He doesn't know what it is. He thinks he has a black SUV that he can't find. So he can't navigate. He can't see the beauty in himself. He can't look at the beauty of the anima. He's kind of lost. But who isn't lost? He's 30 years old. I mean, he'll figure it out eventually. You know, he'll see that the beauty that he sees in a woman is analogous to the beauty of his soul, and that he'll also see the beauty in his own soul, and he'll see that it's the same, and he'll just be astounded. That's my interpretation.
It really is amazing if you can realize that this numbing projection that you have on an outer person who's totally unaware of your projection, by the way. They're just a simple little being out there, and suddenly are turned into this goddess on a pedestal by your projection within you. But as Von Franz said, that this girl who hears the boy outside her window howling like a cat, she tells her, he's not in love with you. He's in love with love, you know. So this whole idea is that that this great emotion that's directed toward this outer being, who, by the way, is very beautiful. She's a hook, you know. What we're seeing in that beauty in her is what Roy said it was. We are seeing the beauty in our own soul. So we think the beauty is out here, that we're putting it out there, but she doesn't know anything about it. All of this energy of the beauty that we want to connect with is inside of us. It's inside of us. She's irrelevant, okay? She's a trigger for it, but we're in love with love. We're in love with the beauty of our own center. And it's a whole, I mean, you could describe it any way. He's saying it's the personal spirit on the phone. Now, the car, I like what Roy said. It's kind of our vessel, and we can't find our containing vessel. So we're sort of, we are adrift, and we're not centered in the containing vessel. We're just sort of far away somehow. But anyway, it is a great image of everything in life that we need, but it's all mixed up, you know, and it's all topsy-turvy. And because it's topsy-turvy, we're just in a total, we're topsy-turvy or something. But if it could ever be put into order, all that beauty and thing is everything in life that we need. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm seeing kind of two different versions of the same admonition. I'm thinking of, you know, this is the male challenge that all of us deal with, and you know, I've been doing this for 30 years, 40 years or longer, and this business of trying to find a place of cohabitation with the feminine is continually frustrating, and it always turns around, like Roy said, to what is it in you that is trying to come alive. And I look at the two women coming down the stairs, you know, there's just never a meeting. It's this passing in the night kind of thing that obviously is it's a moment of attraction, but there's no coming together. And then with the car, what I think of is all these black cars. It's like the Model A that Ford said you can have it in any color you want as long as it's black. This is the way we are processed in our culture, that men in particular are just given a very delineated body, and this is how you use it, and it looks just like everybody else's, and you're never going to find your own personality in the parking lot. You know, it comes down to how do you inhabit who you really are, and you try to show a picture of it to somebody else or try to describe yourself. It just sounds like everybody else, and so there's this need to individuate in such a way that you live your life from the inside out. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. And a couple other things like the coat and the baseball cap seem like kind of the same thing for me. If you describe an American male, he probably has a coat and a baseball cap. You know, millions of us look the same that way. And so it's a matter of kind of discovering how you're different from the norm. And Jung says the most courageous thing we can do is differentiate from what's normal. So that's what I'm getting out of it.
Beautiful. I just, I can't wait to hear what Kat says, but I just want to add something to what you said, Tim, is you mentioned the blackness. Okay. So what the black really means to me, I mean, just it awakened when you said it, is there's no feeling function here. There is no colors. I mean, feeling function and sensate function is colors, 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 you know. Now, he does have the colors, but they are in a prism. They're trapped in a kind of a crystal. And when he wants to show the person there, it's full of undifferentiated feeling function trapped in a prism, you know, PRISM, a prism, you know, and all of these cars, there's no feeling function. Roy described it as grim. It's grim weather, it's grim colors, you know, and this is what is left for us after we have this sort of mismeeting with this, the beauty of life that we have not connected with yet. Okay, now, Kat, you're just absolutely wonderful. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Well, thank you, Charles, for sharing this dream. First of all, I just get a real, sorry, I don't know whether to laugh or cry, really, but not laugh, but I just get a sense of betrayal. It's the betrayal that she's there, but I can't see her. It's the betrayal that she's come with a friend and somehow gone. And also the fact of going out to my car that doesn't seem to be there. Again, that's a betrayal. Again, the mode of transport, which is meant to make my life easier and getting around, again, it's not there. That's a betrayal. The fact that, you know, my own 2 feet, I slip over and, you know, I can't seem to find my bearings and walk properly and straight and solidly. Like, that's a betrayal. The fact that I go to somebody for help that can't help me in some ways, again, that feels a betrayal, even though I tried to use my phone, show a video of this car that doesn't now look like a car, just a white prism of geometric light. Again, that's a sense of betrayal, because it's kind of like, I don't even know, I can't even communicate what it is I'm trying to say, or even produce evidence to show that my car is gone and somebody help me look for it. And then I wonder then if my car was being stolen, or somehow it's all my phone's been hacked. Again, that's a sense of betrayal as well. And that's what just comes over for me really strongly. So I've obviously got some work to do, Charles. But thank you so much.
But it's so wonderful, Kat. I mean, every aspect of that is true. I mean, it's just one betrayal after another. She leaves without saying goodbye. We see her there. She doesn't even say hello. She doesn't say hello or goodbye. And then, you know, everything she mentioned is betrayal. You know, the mother and the niece and nephew leave without us. The ground is not, we can't even stand up straight. The ground isn't reliable. And it's not straight, it's too this much this way. And then there is no way to talk about our car. The phone betrays us. Everything betrays us. So, I mean, it's just one, I mean, what do you think of that, Charles? I mean, it's this aspect of that over and over and over again in this dream. And like Kat says, there's a lot, means we got a lot of work to do. I don't know what kind of work, but what do you think, Charles?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a contrast to Roy's dream because I feel like his was a good news dream and mine's definitely a bad news dream. But I mean, I don't have the initiative and bravery to look Molly in the face and talk to her. And so she just leaves, as she should, I guess, because I'm totally unable to engage with her. And I think, oh, well, you know, I'll talk to her tomorrow or I'll see her tomorrow. And she's not there. I'm, you know, I'm letting myself down by just, you know, putting it off. And I mean, in a literal way, I can't even tell you how many times where I was like, oh, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go talk to her today. I'm just gonna, I know exactly when she gets off work and I'll just go up there and I'll talk to her and I'll tell her how I really feel. And like, I just got to do it. And it just never happens. And now I'm sitting here almost 3 years after the last time I actually worked with her and still thinking the same thing. And, you know, like I still absolutely love her. But I think she is the one that's betrayed because I never made the effort to make something happen. I just, you know, like the dream says, I can't look at her in the face now. And I had a different dream where I opened a door and she was right there, and we both pretend like we just don't see each other, and we're just kind of looking around and just kind of like, you know, just kind of intentionally ignoring each other and looking anywhere but at each other. And then the second part of the dream, I mean, I like what Roy says about the car being my body, because that to me just makes a lot of sense, because I try to show this guy my body and it's just a geometric shape of light.
Video game.
And that, yeah, and that seems when you apply it to the body, that just makes sense to me because the imagery there. But you know, I've had a lot of problems with my, you know, car, quote unquote. I think, you know, one of the most devastating dreams I've ever had was the dream where I found my car just totally gutted. And
Wheels, no steering wheel, no engine.
yeah, it was just, I mean, it was desolated. And there's just no, I don't know, there's no agency in my life. There's just no, I don't know, I'm just becoming totally impoverished. Because I just can't, all because I can't look Molly in the face.
And yeah, that's the problem. It's the courage to face life. It's very obvious, but let's hear what Roy and Tim have to say before we leave. Go ahead, Roy, and Tim, Kat too, if you have anything.
Yeah, I think Charles understands the situation. You know, I don't know when he's ready to make a transformation, but I think theoretically he understands it.
What about you, Tim? I mean, that was a great amplification by Charles. What do you think?
Well, I don't think I have much more to add.
Mhm.
I think we squeezed the juice out of this one. This is really an important thing. And there'll probably be more dreams similar to this coming along.
Afraid to face life, though. I mean, afraid to look life in the face.
Well,
Kat,
we're all kind of in that position. I mean,
Yeah,
as
we
much
are.
Mm,
it's taken a long time. Look at Roy and I and you, Craig.
yeah, me
We're still
especially.
at it.
Yeah. What does that say to you, Kat? This just fear of just looking life in the face.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. And to be fair, Charles, I had such a strong emotional reaction that I didn't realize that was there for myself. I was like, where the hell does this come from? You know what I mean? But I think it goes down also that I mentioned about Tim's dream of like David and Goliath, because there has been an aspect of me that's felt sort of powerless or sort of turn away rather than really face life or just face whatever it is I'm afraid of. And perhaps that emotion that just sort of caught me just now with Charles's dream, thought, I do actually have to do something about it, because like I'm not really sort of getting any younger sort of thing. And I've got nothing to lose and yet everything to gain. So
Yeah, go ahead, Kat. I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to take up this theme next time. And Dawn, what did Dawn you say? We need a dawn dream, and yeah, Kat, you're a natural. We need Tim. We'll start out with your dream next time and spend a lot of time on it. But I think we should just review Charles' dream, and then Dawn or Kat, if you have a dream, we'll get going on it. You know. So Tim, if you're not here next Wednesday, we'll start on your dream whenever you're here. First thing. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Wow. You made my night here. So we'll
Right,
see you Wednesday, Roy and Tim, Kat, Dawn.
All right, see you guys.
thank you. Take care. Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.